Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. In today's video, we're going to talk about this new fountain pen that I recently got from Amazon. This is called Sailor Pro Gear Slim, and this is the Shikiori Four Seasons edition. So we're going to take a look at the pen properties, and then we're also going to see how this pen writes. Now, I'd like to do a video on this because I did discover something interesting about this pen, and I am going to talk about that in a moment. So this pen retails for $88 in Amazon.com, and I am very interested because this is my very first Sailor fountain pen, and I know that that is a good price because other retailers sell it for more than that. I think this retails for maybe 130 something at Endless Pens. So when I saw that at Amazon, I was like, oh, that's really a good deal. Now, is that legit? Is that even authentic? So I had to get it to figure out for myself, and then I said to myself, it's not legit, it's not authentic. I can just return it. And like Amazon has a nice return policy, and I just need to drop it off to the nearest UPS store. So returning a purchase from Amazon is not difficult. So I just decided to go for it, and I am very excited with what I got. So this looks really legit. So this is how it comes in this little box. It has it comes in a plastic bagging, and then it has this like a barcode, and then over here on the other side you have some Japanese characters there. I don't really know what that means, but upon close inspection it does look legit. It feels solid, feels really well made, and it comes in this white sailor box that has that sailor logo there, and then comes with booklets over here, and then two black ink cartridges. So then you have this little booklet that actually tells you maybe other models they have in the Sailor collection, and I don't read Japanese, so I don't really understand this, but it has some good illustration as to how to use the ink cartridge, how to fill it up with a converter, and then some more illustration on maybe how to flush the pen, or maybe service the pen, like how to clean it up. So it's really good information, although I don't really understand it in Japanese, but there's a QR code in here. I don't know, who knows, maybe there's an English translation. So one thing I have to mention about this, if you decide to get it from Amazon, is this: it does not come with an ink converter, so you may have to purchase that separately. You may have to spend maybe additional maybe $7-8 depending on where you get the converter from, but as a whole I think the price is really a good deal, and I could not pass a good deal. So now let's talk about the properties of the pen. So the pen is short. Let me get a ruler and let's see the length of this pen. I do have a ruler here. So from the top to the bottom of the pen, it looks like this is just over 12 centimeters long. So there's maybe like 1 or 2 millimeters longer than 12 centimeters. So it's actually a short pen, but it looks really stunning. It's tiny, but it looks really pleasing to the eye, like an eye candy. I love the look and feel of this pen. If you post the cap, it will lengthen the pen for maybe a few centimeters, but nothing significant. So with the cap posted, it looks like this is 1 or 2 millimeters over 14 inches. But yeah, so this is a short pen, and if you have bigger hands, probably not gonna work for you, but my hands are small, so I don't mind having a small pen. Now let's take a look at the material of the pen. This really looks stunning. The one that I have here is the Haruzora, and it is described as a metallic sky blue. And I don't know if I want to call that metallic, because to me it does look more pearlescent than metallic. It's kind of interesting. Like if you look closely on the finish of this pen, it does have the luster of a pearl. You know, like how pearls look like, the luster of a pearl. That's kind of like how I describe this finish. So it comes in, I think, a resin body. So the cap is made of resin, and so is the section and also the barrel. Now I'd like to point out that the color is somewhat different. So although both of these come in sky blue, the color of the cap and the section looks very similar, but that of the body or the barrel, although they are of the same, you know, tone, it's somewhat lighter. So this is like a tone lighter than the color of the section and the cap, which gives this pen like a translucent vibe. It does look like it's translucent, but I don't know, but it seems it is. Let me see. Okay, maybe it is a little bit translucent, you know, than the cap and the section. But overall, you know, the material is made of the same thing. It's all made of resin. Now the metal portion of this pen, like this metal ring here on the cap, you have the trim in here, and you have another metal ring here. All the metal components of this pen is plated in 24 karat gold finish, and it just gives the pen a stunning appearance. And I really like the combination of the black and sky blue color, because this black gives the pen a nice contrast. So it's really gorgeous. Now over here at the top, you have that sailor logo on there. Oops, has that sailor logo on there. Yep, so everything really looks legit. This is a screw-on cap. You screw it on, screw it off. It posts really securely, so that's a good thing. Um, this nib over here is made up of 14 karat gold and is plated in 24 karat gold finish, and then you have a plastic feed. So that's about the properties of the pen, and this is really good and well made pen. I really like the look and feel of this pen. It's just stunning. I just love the pearlescent, you know, finish or material that they use in here. So now let's take a look at how this pen writes. Oh, before that, I'd like to mention about the filling mechanism of the pen. So you can either use an ink cartridge or you can use an ink converter. So I mainly just use an ink converter because I want to test different colored inks. So without further ado, let's just see how this pen performs. So I discovered something about this pen. That's why I really wanted to share it with you guys. Well, this pen really writes beautifully, you know, just what you expect from, you know, a sailor brand. This is a reliable pen. I have not seen it, you know, skip or have a hard start or anything like that. It does have a little bit of feedback. I don't know. It just makes me feel like I am, you know, writing with a pencil. You know, like how when you write with a pencil, like it has that feedback. It gives me that kind of feeling with this pen. It's not scratchy, it's not toothy, but it does have some feedback. So I don't really mind that it has feedback, but it may bother some people. So this particular one actually comes in a medium fine nib. I think all of the Shikiori Pro Gear Slim 4 Season edition comes only in medium fine. I like the feed, you know, like the point size of this pen is fine. It's really, I mean, it is medium fine, but the Japanese nibs are known to be finer than Western nibs. And even though it's fine, it has an excellent ink flow. Okay, so now let's see how the pen writes. Now, one thing I discovered about this pen is you can use it as a flex pen, not as a flex pen, but it does have some, it does give you a fine line variation, which is something that I just discovered. Okay, and I'm gonna show you that in a moment. So let's take a look at how the pen writes. I'm gonna write, you know, with a light hand, and just to show you just using this one as a daily writer. I'm gonna write Sailor Pro, Gear, Slim. Okay, and this one is Shikiori, 4 season edition. And what I have here is called the Haruzora, and this is described as metallic sky blue. All right, and this comes in a medium fine nib, and the ink that I'm using is the Hirameko ink in Itezora. Okay, Hirameko ink in Itezora. Okay, I am using a Maruman Japanese notebook, and if you are interested in just looking at the ink swatches of some of the Sailor multi-shading inks, I do have a video for that, and you can check that out. This specific one, the Itezora Yurameko ink, may look different depending on what paper you use, what point size pen you use, whether it's been on the paper for a while, or if it's wet on the paper, it just changes color, and so it's kind of like difficult to describe what the actual color is, but it does have a nice teal, green, gray undertone to it. It does have a little bit of purple in it as well. I think it depends again on what kind of paper you use, but this is how the pen writes when you just write normally with your normal penmanship or handwriting. But when you do vary your pressure, when you write, it does give you a fine line variation. So I was not really thinking of what I was doing when I did the video in my other ink swatches, and one of my viewers actually pointed out that it does have a beautiful fine line variation, and I actually I didn't notice that at first, just because it's out of habit that sometimes I do apply a little more pressure on my downstrokes. I don't know, it's just out of habit. But let me just show you how you can make those nice fine line variation using this pen. I would like to mention though that since the nib is made up of 14 karat gold, it flexes a little bit. It can be a little soft, but it's also firm. And this is not meant to be used as a flex pen, and don't apply too much pressure because you might damage your gold nib. But just for the purpose of illustration, that you can actually do some fine line variation with it. So let me write the name, and I'm going to apply just a little pressure on my downstrokes, and you can see that it does create some fine line variation there. Okay, so this is Sailor. Pro Gear. Okay, Slim. All right, so let me zoom out so you can see the difference between just like your normal writing with little pressure, and then just applying a little bit of pressure on your downstroke. It does have some line variation, kind of reminds me of the Pilot Falcon. I have that in soft fine nib. It kind of like produces the same line variation there. So I was surprised by that, but I'm happy that it's versatile. But I don't want to flex it too much because it is soft, and I don't want it to be bent out of place. But it does help you create some calligraphic effect if you wanted that. And if you are fond of journaling, You know, you can use this two different ways. You can maybe flex it a little bit for your heading, just give it like a nice, you know, artistic feel. But yeah, I am surprised that the Sailor Pro Gear's name actually can produce a fine line variation depending on the amount of pressure that you apply. Alright, so let me show you another writing sample of using the same pen and ink on another paper. I'm going to show you what I did with my Midori notebook. Well, I did paint. I did some watercolor paint on the cover because the cover is white, and I'm like, it's just too plain. So let me experiment and paint on it. Well, I did some watercolor. I'm not done yet, but it does look nice. Okay, let me see. All right, this one here. So this writing in here, let me zoom in so you can see clearly. So the writing that the pen that I use for this writing is actually the same pen and ink. Okay, so as you can see, it does have some fine line variation. It does give it a calligraphic effect. Okay, and then over here, you know, at the bottom, I said that this is written using Sailor Pro Gear's name medium fine, and my ink is in Haruzora. And if you're wondering what's this vine here, well, these are all fountain pen inks that, you know, I just played with, and it does look really nice. You know, it does not bleed or anything like that here. And yep, this is very nice. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed already, don't forget to hit subscribe so you will be notified for when I upload my other videos. And if you have any comments, suggestions, anything you'd like to ask, just feel free to drop your comments in the comment section below. And thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.